British Prime Minister Boris Johnson has condemned Beijing over its new security law for Hong Kong. He adds that Britain will keep its promise of allowing a path of citizenship for Hong Kong people holding British national overseas or BNO passports.
The enactment and imposition of this national security law constitutes a clear and serious breach of the Sino-British Joint Declaration. It violates Hong Kong's high degree of autonomy and is in direct conflict with Hong Kong basic law. That if China continued down this path, we would introduce a new route for those with British national overseas status to enter the UK, granting them limited leave to remain with the ability to live and work in the UK and thereafter to apply for citizenship.
For the latest, Ollie Barrett joins us live from London. Ollie, the UK says it will honour its commitments to holders of BNO passports. How will this affect UK and ties with Beijing?
It's going to severely strain them. China had been warned by the UK that the UK would take this step, and the UK insists it is very much sticking to its word, extending that path to citizenship to as many as 3 million BNO passport holders and people who are eligible for that status and their dependents as well. Dominic Raab, the UK Foreign Secretary, is on his feet in the House of Commons as we speak, following on from those words that we heard from Boris Johnson. He has called what the legislation that's been enacted by China a grave and deeply disturbing step. And on that new status for BNOs, the ability to seek citizenship in the United Kingdom, he insists that that is a process already underway. He's describing it as a special, bespoke set of arrangements. He says all of those with BNO status will be eligible, as will their family dependents. And crucially here, he says there will be no quotas on numbers.
Ollie, we know the EU and G7, they're also considering action. Do we know what these might be?
Well, there are various options available, including sanctions. I think the UK and other G7 countries and the European Union are unwilling to go down that route if they don't have to, but they've been very dismayed indeed by the inaction of the national security legislation by Beijing. And so certainly ties are already strained, not just with the UK, but with European countries and G7 nations as well. We've had some condemnation over the last 24 hours from the European Union about the inaction of the legislation for Hong Kong. The UK Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab says the Chinese ambassador is also being summoned to explain the British position and the anger at what has taken place. And going back to those BNO passport holders and those eligible now to explore citizenship in the United Kingdom, Dominic Raab says that this is a historic responsibility that the UK has to the people of Hong Kong, and says that the UK is living up to its international obligations in a way that he claims China is now not.
And Ollie, another question for you. Why has a travel advisory been issued for UK residents travelling to Hong Kong?
Well, that has just been updated by the Foreign Office, and it relates to the legislation that's been passed by the National People's Congress. I can read you some of it. The Foreign Office saying that there is now recent heightened political sensitivity. There could be an increase in protests and violence. These could occur without warning throughout Hong Kong. The advice goes on, you should avoid protests and demonstrations. Mainland authorities, it points out, could detain individuals under the terms of the new law with the maximum penalty of life imprisonment now. So certainly the Foreign Office suggesting that what has happened with the inaction of this legislation just makes it slightly more concerning with regards to people planning to visit Hong Kong for all sorts of reasons, and so it's changed its travel advice. Bear in mind, this is also in the context of, at the moment, the Foreign Office, because of coronavirus COVID-19 restrictions around the world, it is still advising against all but essential travel anyway.
Thanks for getting us up to speed. Ollie Barrett speaking to us from London.